Hey folks, thanks for joining me. I just wanted to share with you a nugget of information I came across that I think is of critical importance. It's called Mastery of the Human Domain Almost Complete. I will leave a link to it. I'm not going to read the entire article, it's quite lengthy. What I will do, I will actually start with the synopsis, get into another aspect of the article in a little bit more depth with a video, and just really open with the idea that right now, what they're really concerned about isn't so much the acquisition of power at this point. They have almost all of it. They own all the money, they own all the insurance agencies, they own all the entertainment and news corporations and their points of distribution, such as YouTube. They own all the utilities, most of the land, all the energy corporations. So when it comes to power, I would say that most everything is under their thumb, so to speak. So now what it's really about is implementing the smart grid, the control grid. It's all about control right now, not the acquisition of power. And this article is just really a really phenomenally written piece with just a tremendous amount of information. I highly recommend you read it. So let's just start right in. Before I get into the synopsis, there's one thing, this one little nugget that I want to make you aware of, because this program, it's a program that is, its implications are staggering. So this whole aspect, up until this point, this whole aspect of the article is dealing with data collection, and it's now getting into some of the programs. One of the programs, Sentient World Simulation. This program is developing a parallel to planet Earth with billions of individual nodes to reflect every man, woman, and child. SWS will be a synthetic mirror of the real world with automated continuous collaboration with respect to current real-world information. It provides an environment for testing psychological operations so that military leaders can develop and test multiple courses of action to anticipate and shape behaviors of adversaries, neutrals, and partners, including United States citizens. SWS also mimics financial institutions, utilities, media outlets, and street corner shops. By applying theories of economics and human psychology, its developers can predict how individual mobs will respond to various stressors. So that's the four programs that were primarily discussed were X-Key Source, Marina, Riot, and the one just named Sentient World Simulation. Again, I highly recommend you click on the link that I will leave in the description to this article. So right to the synopsis, and I will further hyphenate this. What we have learned so far. Microprocessors, the internet, Cisco Systems, Google, and Intel were all DARPA In-Q-Tel projects that flourished with new technologies created and funded by the military for cyber warfare. Most high-tech moguls are simply frontmen selling DARPA and In-Q-Tel's products that control our lives and spy on us continually. Intel processors have a backdoor built into the microprocessor that allows a complete monitoring and control over your personal computer. Moving forward, IBM Cisco Systems Internet of Things plants netbots in all devices under its control that can be activated remotely and used for cyber attacks. The U.S. government has helped build, monitor, regulate, and control all physical aspects of Internet transmissions and broadcasts through the Board of Broadcasting Governors, which is a part of the DoD. The United States government can turn off, filter, manipulate, and control the Internet through the federally controlled transmission cables that span the world. It goes further into whose money is behind it, and it's typically the same players as always. Goldman Sachs has a big part to do with it. J.P. Morgan um, is another big financial player involved. And also a lot of private sector money gets involved in this through another agency that the article discusses. But I wanted to get into some of the things that some of the programs that are really not that public. Like this one, we'll come back to. So I found a video from their point of view, and then we'll discuss it from this author's point of view. And we'll see the difference, and you'll see. So here are some of a list. Total Information Awareness. This is a program. Under the umbrella of a system known as Total Information Awareness, DARPA spearheaded many of the surveillance programs abused by the NSA. DARPA's Total Information Awareness concept created a veritable buffet of advanced surveillance and data mining programs, many of which ultimately were folded into NSA's PRISM. PRISM culled citizens' personal data from companies like Microsoft, Google, and Facebook. And I'm just going to highlight some of the doozies. This is a program, okay? Sounds of Silence. The Silent Subliminal Presentation System was developed for commercial use in 1992. A silent communications system in which non-oral carriers in the very low or very high audio frequency range or in the adjacent ultrasonic frequency spectrum are amplitude or frequency modulated with the desired intelligence and propagated acoustically or vibrationally for inducement into the brain, typically through the use of loudspeakers, earphones, or transducers. The modulated carriers may be transmitted directly in real time or may be recorded and stored on mechanical, magnetic, or optical media for delayed or repeated transmission to the listener. And it follows with the patent number. That's insane. So, Thin Thread, that's wiretapping and sophisticated analysis by the NSA. Another NSA project, Trailblazer project. Turbulence. Moving forward, Carnivore, a system implemented by the FBI that was designed to monitor email and electronic communications. DCSNet, another FBI investigations surveillance program. It was a point-and-click surveillance system that can perform instant wiretaps on any telecommunications device located in the United States. Point-and-click surveillance system. Wow. Whew. Fairview, a mass surveillance program directed at foreign mobile phone users. Magic Lantern, a keystroke logging software deployed by the FBI in the form of an email. When activated, it acts as a Trojan horse and allows the FBI to decrypt user communications. Mainway, NSA database containing metadata for hundreds of billions of telephone calls made through the 4 largest telephone carriers in the United States. Mystic is a voice interception program used by the NSA. Room 641A, a telecommunication interception facility operated by AT&T for the NSA. Oh, man. Century Eagle, there's another doozy. Special collection services. I mean, people, this goes on. This is not multi-state anti-terrorism information exchange, otherwise known as Matrix. It's another data mining system. Insight program. Here's one that you'll come to enjoy. EM fields and hidden symbols uses techniques to incept thoughts and ideas into the mind. Once a mind has been programmed with the memory patterns, words and symbols can trigger the programming without the need of the original device. Wow. Targeted individual, anyone? A nervous system manipulation by EM fields from monitors. Most of you know about that. And we'll stop right here with the, and it goes further, on and on. But we'll stop with this one, the Narrative Networks Program. I want you to listen to that Orwellian doublespeak. The Narrative Networks Program was developed classified techniques used to manipulate trust in humans. For its narrative, man, you just gotta shake your head at this sometimes, man. For its Narrative Networks Program, DARPA collaborated with a CIA agency called IARPA, Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Agency. It's like DARPA, but with an I, to develop methods of overwriting messages in the human mind. So with that in mind, let's go to and hear it from the horse's mouth. These are the cats that are funded by DARPA, and I'll pray that the audio comes out. If not, well, I'm definitely leaving a link so you can click on it. It's 2 minutes.
The Brain and Creativity Institute is an interdisciplinary institution, and the mission is to understand the human brain and to understand the human experience. A lot of the work that I do has to do with how people process perceptual information. We're trying to map out the architecture of the brain that integrates information from all the different senses. As long as you're comfortable in there, we'll talk to you from outside.
Ready to rock?
Today we're seeing a functional brain imaging experiment that measures people's brain activity while they read stories. We're really interested in what happens when people read stories about things that matter to them. So all the stories that the participants in this study are reading involve moral values, and we're going to be looking at how their brains respond to stories that have those moral values in them. One of the things we're looking at is how people tell stories differently depending upon their cultural background. In this study, there's going to be 90 people that participate, and we're going to involve people from America who grew up here in the United States, and we're also going to be studying people from China who came to the United States recently and have a different cultural background. We're also going to be studying Farsi-speaking Iranian subjects. One of the things we're interested in is whether people express their emotions differently depending on their cultural background.
So this is basically we're moving through his brain from the top down toward his neck. You see there's eyeballs.
I think one of the most interesting aspects of this study is that we're going to be tying the brain activity that we measure to people's individual values. So how somebody feels about a particular moral issue is going to be factored into our analysis. When the participant comes out of the scanner, he's going to read the stories that he saw inside the scanner, and he's going to give us some more detailed information about what his response to those stories is. So the more we understand how that process works and how people react to stories depending upon their own neurophysiology and their own cultural background, the better we can communicate with each other.
So just remember, it sounds so neat and insightful as to the true nature of humanity, but it's funded by scumbags, and its use is about control. It's about control now, people. Anyway, that's all I got for now. I really wanted to share that. If you like this, share it. It's all about the information. Anyway, have a good night. Thanks.